All right, this next part is now, if I give you a linear equation in slope-intercept form, now I want you to graph it. So you just got to follow these 4 easy steps. 4 easy steps. Step 1, we write the equation in slope-intercept form if it's not already done that way for us. So on number 1, it is y equals negative x plus 5. Step 2 is we are going to identify the slope and the beginning point. So what is m equal? What is b equal? Well, remember, your slope is a coefficient of x. So the coefficient of x is negative 1, and the beginning point, my y-intercept, is 5. So I have identified my m and my b, right? So what I'm going to do first is I start with my beginning point. It says that I'm going to start graphing where b is equal to 5. So my y-intercept is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to graph that point. That's step 2, really, is graph the y-intercept. I like to write these out to the left-hand side first and then go about my business. So my beginning point's 5. Notice my slope is negative 1. Slope is always in the form of a ratio with negative 1 over 1. We turn it into a over b rational number if it's not already there. So negative 1, just to make it a fraction, I put it over 1. So now I'm going to go down 1, run 1. If it's negative, I'm going to go down, and I always run right 1. Down 1 over 1. It only really takes 2 points to make a line, but I like to make at least 2 or 3 dots, 2 or 3 points to make that line. So I found the slope. Step 4 is use a ruler. Use a what? A what? A ruler. Make sure you use a ruler. I will know if you have not done so. So remember, when we go all the way through the coordinate plane, just like we did in Unit 3, is I want a ruler, and I want your line to go outside of my graph, okay? So I want it extended in both directions outside that coordinate plane and arrows on both ends. That's what makes it a line. That's how I know if you watched the video or not. All right, so number 2, I'm going to identify, it's already in slope-intercept form. Step 1, check, check. I'm going to identify my slope, coefficient of x, which is negative 3, my beginning point, which is negative 1. So I start with my beginning point, my y-intercept at negative 1. My slope is negative 3, so I'm going to go down 3, run 1. Down 3, run 1. Now, if it goes off the page and you can't tell, you can reverse order it, but you got to reverse everything. So if you don't want to go down, but you want to go up 3, if you go up 3 and it's negative, just make sure you run to the left because it still needs to be that negative direction. My skier's going downhill. So if it runs off the page here, reverse the order. You're going to go up and then to the left. It still makes it negative. And then I take my ruler and I go all the way through. All right, number 3. It's already in slope-intercept form. My slope is 2/5. My beginning point is 2. My beginning point is really my y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 2. My slope is up 2 over 5. And if I want another point, I can reverse it here, down 2 over 5. And then I graph all the way through. All right, let's do a couple more. Let's do the evens. Let's do 4, 6, and 8, okay? Yeah, 4, 6, and 8. So my beginning point here is 3. My slope is negative 1/4. So I identify, oh, this is positive 3. So positive 3 is my beginning point. My slope is down 1 over 4. Down 1 over 4, or I can reverse order it here and go up 1 over 4. Just make sure that I have a ruler and arrows on both ends. Okay? Number 6. My slope is negative 3 over 2. My beginning point is negative 5. And remember, I always begin my graphing on my y-axis, so I'm going to go here to negative 5. My slope is negative 3 over 2. So this helps me find the direction. I know if I went down 3 and over 2, it would come this way. So that tells myself, it tells my brain, okay, well now I'm going to go up 3, but I got to remember to go this way. So I can reverse that process, up 3 over 2, and now go all the way through on both ends, okay? Look at number 8. Number 8, they switched up, commutative property says you can, but they switched up the order of the slope and the intercept. Don't be fooled. So remember, my slope is still the coefficient of x, which is 5, and my beginning point here is negative 3. So I'm going to start graphing at -3 on my beginning point, and my slope is 5. So 5 over 1 is that true fraction form. So that means I'm going to go up 5 over 1. Up 5 over 1. So look how steep that slope is. And there I have carried out my slope. Okay? All right. Now let's do a couple in standard form. I'm going to do, let's look at these last 4. Now, these are not in slope-intercept form. These are in standard form, so they're not easy to graph. I can't graph it as of yet, maybe tomorrow. So right now I'm going to have to change it into slope-intercept form. So if my first step is I'm going to get y by itself. I've already done that before, so I'm going to get y by itself. I subtract 2x on both sides. I get -4y equals -2x plus 20. All I did, additive inverse on both sides. Now I'm going to divide everything by -4. And I get y equals 1/2 x minus 5. I already went ahead and I reduced my fraction right there. So here, my slope is 1/2. My beginning point's -5. Now, it's graphable. My beginning point is right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -5. This is where I'm beginning again. And my slope is +1 over 2, so up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. And then I take a ruler, I go all the way through, arrows on both ends. So, 14's not hard, it's just one more step. I gotta turn it into slope-intercept form. All right, so let's look at number 15. I'm gonna subtract 2x on both sides, and I get 3y equals -2x. I don't need to add that plus 0, that matters nothing. So now I'm gonna divide by 3, and I get y equals -2/3 x plus 0, that's not simplified. All that I need to know is that my slope is -2/3 and my beginning point is 0. So now I'm going to start graphing here at 0. And my slope is -2/3. So down 2 over 3, down 2 over 3. And then I can make my line with my ruler, arrows on both ends. All right, let's do those last 2 just for extra practice. All right, let me erase this. And if you guys want to start and you can check your answer with me, hopefully that's what you're doing. So you can pause me and then bring me back. All right, so I'm going to subtract 10x on both sides. I have -8y equals -10x plus 24. I'm going to divide everything by -8. And I'm going to go ahead and reduce while I'm here. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. 2 goes into both of those. So it's going to be 5/4 x minus 6. So my slope is 5/4. My beginning point's -6. So I start graphing on my y-intercept. So it's down here. I think that's 6, 3. No. Down 3. There it is. There it is. Not that second one. Right here. Okay, so -6. And then my slope is 5/4. So I'm going to go up 5 over 4. Up 5 over 4. Carry it all the way through. Arrows on both ends. All right, let's look at number 17. To get y by itself, I subtract 9x on both sides. I get 12y equals -9x plus 12. Divide everything by 12 to get y by itself. And now I'm left with y equals negative divided by positive is a negative. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 goes into 12 4 times. X plus 1. So that's in slope-intercept form. So now my slope is -3/4. My beginning point's 1. So I'm going to begin graphing at 1. That's my beginning point. And now I'm going to go down 3 over 4 for my slope. Down 3 over 4 for my slope. And I can reverse that process, arrows on both ends. So that's how we're graphing linear equations in slope-intercept form, and even in standard form we can convert that. Okay, so if you have questions, come and see me.